Hello and welcome back for another P365 update. We have been torturing the 365 duty barrel that we have, and really just kind of overall the whole 365 gun. There's been, a couple, I think 3 broken lights, a broken frame. Those were kind of around 5,000 to 8,000 rounds. Then we got to, I think, 8,000 rounds, and that's when the end of the threads broke. With having the compensator on there the whole time, it was just a lot of pressure. And then we got to, oh man, what was it? I think it was 18,500 rounds, and I couldn't shoot anymore. And it was because this is loose and not working. So I didn't know what it was. I took it apart. I'm going to take it apart. All right, I am back. The trigger spring that holds the bar and the sidebar in place to the FCU, but it's usually like a bow shape, so it's missing half of it. This did go well over 12,000 rounds, and the frame did not break. So that's kind of nice to see. I think that could have just been, I don't know, the pressures, early on testing that it just got brittle, and it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Either way it happened, it's funky. This lower, this trigger, and same barrel, the one that we cut the threads off of, and that happened. 20,223 rounds later. And what I believe, without looking at the casing, I think it was a couple things that happened. I think it was a double charge, so the barrel is clear of any projectiles. There is the spent casing in it. So I think that it was just a hot round. In this shoot, there were probably 3 magazines that I was using that the ammo it seemed really hot. There was a lot of bigger, much more noticeable fireballs coming out of it. So I knew it was a little bit hotter, and we were using 124, 147, sometimes 150, and 115, of course. But we're trying to, over stress this barrel. So constantly using 124, sometimes NATO 124, so it's definitely a lot hotter. So we do that just to really heat this barrel up, to really stress it. And with all that, I think it finally just had enough. It's a clean crack. So I do want to get this thing apart. I just got to figure out how. I don't want to cut the slide. I really don't want to cut the slide. All right, so what we're gonna do here is you gotta be gentle and sweet. Hands are slick. I'm gonna get gloves on real quick because I'm slipping all over this thing.
Is it because of that Aveeno moisturizing soap?
No, of course not. These are man hands. We're gonna get this thing off. All right, I have gloves on now. Try to get under the FCU. Everything is locked in place, but yeah, I don't think it's gonna be too easy to remove it. I could be wrong. Yeah, it's not moving. Okay, so I mean, there's a little bit of that, there's a little bit of this. Now I just need a safety pin or something. I mean, paper clip or small. It's just like this trigger pin is really small, so I think you're just gonna have to use something very small. There it is. And my glove. Now I can come out, probably get this thing out. Ah, yeah. all it is. The barrel's not supposed to look like that. Well, what's it supposed to look like, Jimmy? Well, not like that. I need a hammer. All right, we're gonna use our little Santa elf hammer. See if that's gonna be. I can at least use the soft side. I do want to save this slide, but oh, come on, baby. I think I'm gonna get half of this barrel out. All right, that's incredible. All right, so there's that part. Instead of this looking like it's a bad situation, I want to turn it into a good situation. I think we could start selling these as 2-piece barrels, we'll call them 50%ers. And you guys basically, we'd ship you, this piece and this piece, and we can even do it in separate boxes, and you guys just put them together. Let me know what you think about that in the comments. I want to clean this up though. We'll take a look at the rifling, and the back is not blown out, which it doesn't mean that it's not a double charge. I think that it was an over pressurized round. Right here, I think that is from it catching on the side of the barrel when it cracked and all the pressure. But I mean, I'm not a casings expert. And it's possible too that the barrel it got so hot and tortured. I have a hard time believing that. But since I can't prove it, what's the other way to prove it? Get another barrel. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get another barrel and go 20,000 rounds and then beyond 20,000 rounds. I just have to start over. Current round count on that upcoming barrel is 0. But we took a closer look at it. I wanted to see if I could show you a little bit what we think. Whenever you have a barrel like this, it's not a chamber failure or chamber explosion, if you will. At first, I was thinking I had a double charge. But with how I was shooting this, it was, a lot of quick fire and, just one round after the other. With the inside of the barrel and the outside, you can tell there's a bulge that happened right here. If you can see, I don't know if we'll be able to pick it up. This part is, I haven't cleaned this or anything. This part right here, there's a line and it's shinier here. You can see there's more of that carbon behind it. A bullet was lodged right here, and the other round behind it was able to shoot that out. But with that, it cracked. There was more space, and there was actually, you can tell that there's some copper right here. There was some copper on the side. So it's just when it got caught here, the next round came. That first bullet pretty much just destroyed. There were shreds and shrapnel, if you will, just everywhere in here. So it shot all that out. I couldn't feel it, which I was very surprised. I felt some lighter rounds before, but again, was shooting it that quick. Nothing caught my attention on that second to the last round. So it can happen really quick. So it's just a good lesson. Be careful when you're shooting. Always try to listen out for a squib. I've only had one before this, and I caught it before I shot the next round. Usually, and if you don't know what that is, a squib round is just when the bullet gets caught in the barrel. There's not enough pressure pushing it out to exit. So you're gonna have a bullet that's stuck in here, and then if you shoot another round behind it, it's just so much pressure because it has nowhere to escape. So it's all in the barrel. But with 416R, these barrels are made to split and crack. The 4140, 4150, they're made to more bulge. So there's different things with different steels, but it's a safety measure either way to make sure that if the explosion does come back at you, it's not going straight to your hand. So while I hated to see this barrel crack after 20,000 rounds, it's also kind of comforting that, my hand's still here. and we know what caused it. So that's what we're looking at now, is squib round, and I don't want any more squibs, no more squib games. Sorry that this barrel didn't go 100,000 rounds this time, but I'm not gonna let you down. And if there's a weak point that we find, we're gonna do our hardness testing and all that with this, just to make sure, just so we have all of our T's dotted and our I's crossed, or make sure it wasn't a weak point here on our side. And if it's not, we're gonna continue. If it was, we'll make whatever adjustments we need to. But just, I hope you can rest assured that if this ever happens to you and your hand is good, you know, we're gonna send you a brand new barrel. So you shoot it out, you make your barrel explode, you'll get a brand new one. I just hate that it happened, but I also love that it happened too. And for all the questions flooding in right now from your minds, oh, did it hurt your hand? Did it hurt? No, it wasn't bad. I did feel a lot of pressure, of course, coming down, you know, through the trigger group area. It just felt like a quick flash, you know, and so I, of course, you know, removed my finger, put the gun down really quickly, and looked at what I thought happened, and of course you could see the barrel just cracked in half, so it didn't take too much guesswork. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this one. It's not the news I wanted to bring to you on 20,223 rounds, but that's where we're at. Let's go into the next barrel and see how many rounds we can get with that one. Oh, we'll still keep that one.